The options: van life, buying a place, renting somewhere, moving abroad. I don't know. Those are my options. Okay, so here's my dilemma. For the past 3 months, I have been in major analysis paralysis. I don't know my next steps. There's so much up in the air right now, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. First of all, one thing about me is that I'm so bad at making decisions. I notoriously take way too long to make a decision on something. I research the crap out of everything to try to figure out what is going to be the best option for me, and that's that. I don't know why I do this. I think it's part of my ADHD of I don't like to repeat work or to do things over or to waste money. Maybe that's not an ADHD thing, I don't know. But I just over-research and take too long to make decisions. I once sold my car and then went back to LA, where I'm from, and I spent 5 months without a car because I could not make a decision on a car. And it was LA. You need a car to get around. So that wasn't good. So I'm kind of stuck in that again. Here's the situation. In the past, I worked as a park ranger, which was super cool. I got to travel around the country and work for 6 months at a time and live in really cool parts of the US, which was awesome. And I got really used to moving every 6 months, which I loved. I loved it. I didn't want to put down roots. I just wanted to be moving all over the place, seeing new things, meeting new people, experiencing life in different parts of the country, which also is part of my desire to travel so much, is to experience life in other parts of the world, not just go see the sights, but I want to meet the locals and I want to see what they do and what life is like. I decided to change careers because I wasn't really making money as a park ranger, and I decided to do this right as the new decade hit in 2020. Shortly after, we know what happened. COVID hit and my plans kind of got derailed. I was just kind of living wherever I could. I lived with my parents for a while. That didn't work out, so I moved in with some friends. That was fine, but there were some issues, and then I moved up to Washington, so now I'm living with other friends, and I've been here for 2 years, and it is the longest that I have been in one spot since before I moved out of my parents' house. I've always been moving around. It's just weird that I've been here for so long, and I'm getting antsy. I'm also renting a room from friends, so it's not long term, and I guess it has been, because it's been 2 years, but I need to figure out what's next. So, the options: van life, buying a place, renting somewhere, moving abroad. I don't know. Those are my options. So van life, I've thought about it so many times, but honestly, I'm a little anxious about it. I'm a little apprehensive. I worry about being alone for that long and being worried about where my next spot is gonna be. I think that's my biggest concern, is where am I going next? I don't know, but then I've been watching videos lately and a lot of people talk about being parked at a spot for 2 weeks at a time, so it could work. But I don't know, I keep going back and forth with it. It comes up and then I do a pros and cons and I decide that it's probably not the best decision, and then a week later I'll think about it again. That's an option, but we'll see. The way I'm gonna try to figure that out is I am going to start planning some trips and staying in my car. I have a Prius Prime, which I love, and I bought it so I could sleep in it because I saw so many videos about living in your Prius. But one thing I did not anticipate was that the battery was gonna be so big that I have an extra 5 inches of height in my car, and it makes me feel like I'm in a coffin. So, trying to figure that out. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a couple trips and see how it goes and see if I do want to get something bigger that I can live in and convert. At this time, I don't want to do anything crazy. I don't need to put in a kitchen or anything like that. I just want a place to live, really. The second option is to buy something. Can't afford that right now. So I've toyed with the idea of buying a plot of land and building on it. I've never built anything in my life, but I like to learn things. I'll figure it out. I've got some friends who are pretty handy who could teach me a couple things. So that's a thought too. I think with that one, it just gets to be, like I said, I'm so bad at picking a decision. So when it comes to, okay, buy a plot of land somewhere, then I'm gonna spend 6 months trying to figure out which exact plot I should buy. So that's that. we'll see if that happens. Moving abroad is something I've thought about for the last 10 years or so. Not necessarily permanently. Like I said, I can't even, staying in one place for 2 years is a lot for me, but I don't know, like being in another country for a year or so would be cool. And especially with the way things are going in this country, in this day and age, it's becoming more and more of an option. I'm in the process to try and make some of that happen, just to see where it goes, if anything goes anywhere. With my ADHD, everything that's a task takes forever, so it'll take me a while to see if anything happens from applying for visas. We'll see. We'll see. And then the last thing is to just rent somewhere. I think that is kind of my last resort, but I might have to do it for the time being if I can't figure something out soon. I don't know. And that's just my anxiety. My friends haven't told me. In fact, they've said they're not going to kick me out, but you know, I don't think they expected me to be here for as long as I have been. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I would love to hear if you have any thoughts, if you have tried van life and loved it, or if you've tried it and hated it. I would love to hear why. If you have bought a plot of land and built on it, I would love to hear your experience. So let me know in the comments, please. In the meantime, I'm going to do a couple of small weekend trips, or maybe even overnight trips in my car, just to figure it out and see if I enjoy it. I've slept in my car twice now and it worked out. It was definitely cramped, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my current mission, is to try to figure this thing out. So we'll see where I end up. I'll bring you all along when I do these weekend trips and show you my setup, and we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I think next week you guys are gonna get a video about my Japan trip from last year. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe if you wanna follow along, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.